Any water gardener owner probably has dealt with a murky pond, and while sometimes they do get a little dirty, there's things that can make it a little bit easier. And we are here at Pond Pro in Shawnee, Oklahoma, joined by Mike Miller. And Mike, let's talk about a dirty pond. Is that okay?
Well, if you're European, you would accept a green pond because that's the standard in Europe.
Okay.
In America, most of our pond people came via the swimming pool industry. So they want to have clear water. And that's hard to do when you have living things, plants and fish and all kinds of different amphibians living in your pond.
You have an ecosystem that changes.
Right. That's right. So you've got a lot of bacteria, you've got a lot of things going on. So while you want the water to be clear enough to see your fish and enjoy your pond, it can't be bathtub clean.
Okay.
One of the things you're going to find out is that leaves fall into the pond if you don't get them out, and they're going to create a sludge down at the bottom along with the fish waste and dirt. And in case the wind would blow in Oklahoma, we might get seeds and grass and all kinds of other things in there. I know it doesn't happen often, but around here it does.
So it can be a little bit seasonal based off of what's going on.
That's right.
But you've got a few tools here that might make it a little bit easier for us.
Yes,
what do you
a couple
have?
of things. Here's a new one that we've got from Awasa that actually helps you reach out and get something out of the pond.
Oh, okay.
So you could reach in there and get a leaf that has fallen in the bottom. If you get trash that blows in, you might pick it out with this. It's telescoping, and you can reach out as far as 10 feet with this and get something out of your pond.
If you live next to a golf course, and
Yeah,
you might need to get a few golf balls.
You can get balls out with it. The other item is...
Looks like pole pruners.
It's a scissors. So you can use the scissors to reach out there and trim off the dead leaves from your hardy lilies or other plants that are out there. And then after you've cut them off, use the pincers to reach out and get them out of your pond. So now you've cut down on the amount of decomposing organic matter that gets down in the bottom and creates sludge.
Because that can be dangerous for your fish, too.
Yes, it really can. It's not a healthy environment.
Okay, so those are great. And then we also just need to clean the bottom sometimes. So we've got, it looks like a vacuum. I know this.
Oftentimes you're going to have a sludge build up in the pond after some period of time. And yes, you need to get that out as much as you can. As it decomposes, it creates a nutrient in the water, and that nutrient, along with sunlight and water, grows algae. So if you get more nutrient out, more sludge out, you have less nutrient, the less algae.
Right.
And that's the bane of the pond owner, is the algae that grows on the rocks and grows in the water where you can't see your fish.
You're taking away that fertilizer,
That's
basically,
right.
for the algae.
This is a Pondivac, and it's different than a shop vac in that it has two separate cylinders in it. When one cylinder fills up, it begins to discharge via gravity out the back hose, while the other one fills up. So it's continuous action, and it never gets full. It's going to continue to evacuate the water out the back. Now, you'd want that water to go into the garden.
So you wouldn't necessarily refill your pond with that same water?
No, it's not a filter.
Okay.
So it's really meant to just clean the sludge out of the bottom, and that's all good fertilizer.
Right.
So don't waste it. Put it on the yard, put it in the garden, somewhere where it can do some good.
Because it would be pretty murky if you went back into your pond with it.
Yes,
Okay.
it really would. It'd be kind of like making a malt out of muck.
Okay.
And putting it back in your pond, and you don't want to do that.
So this is gravity fed, so my water, or my garden that I'm watering, needs to be below where I'm cleaning the pond.
That's right.
What if my garden's above it?
We set ours up on a cart when we move it around out here, and that
Okay.
makes it easier to discharge, but still, you can't pump uphill. Now, the company has come out with a Pondivac 5. This is a Pondivac 4. The Pondivac 5 has another motor inside it that actually pumps the water out and can pump it uphill.
Okay.
So that makes it a much more efficient machine, but this is sufficient for most pond owners.
All right.
We find that a lot of people will use this, and after you've done it a few times, you're going to have to do it less each time. So by the end of the summer, your pond is still fairly clean. When you put your net on for the fall, no leaves get in it over the fall. In winter, then you're ready to take it out and it's ready to go for the spring.
And this is just collecting that muck. It's not collecting water, so you won't have
That's
to
right.
empty it as often. And that muck is great stuff to use in the garden as well,
Yes,
too.
it really is. And you'll find in a typical 2,000-gallon pond, for instance, as you vacuum out the bottom, you might wind up losing as much as an inch of water, which is nothing, no more than normal evaporation. that you can immediately put back in. One of the things that I want to point out, though, is that this machine will teach you patience. You have to remember that you're sucking up a 12-foot column of water in this, and so it has to work slower than your vacuum. You can't just run it back and forth like you do on the carpet. You have to operate very slowly. And while we're talking about patience, most pond owners get in a hurry to try and have clear water, and everybody is going to have algae. Every pond does. And if you will be patient, eventually the water ecosystem will begin to balance out, and then you can use these tools to just keep it balanced.
Perfect. And what I love about this is it has plenty of extension cord. You obviously don't want the electricity near the water garden.
Right.
And it's got a long hose and plenty of length and extension. So.
Yes, you can clean out a 5 or 6 foot deep pond by 20 foot pretty easily with this without any problem. It has several different fittings on it.
So if you have rocks or you don't have
That's
rocks.
right. You've got either one, or you've got a brush. I use this on my swimming pool. You could use this one to clean your garage floor or the patio with. It's got rollers on it to clean up, and then there's one for rocks, as you pointed out, and another one to cut algae off the side as you bring it in. So lots of different tools, and it really is a help for the homeowner.
Well, if you have to be working out in the garden, this is one chore that you won't mind doing.
That's right.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.